Hello everyone, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Last episode, we kinda got wiggity wasted, y'all. Also I had to do a lot of headphone management. That's not fun, trust me. Alright. When I stretch my hands high above my head, a familiar figure takes form, cane in her right hand. Ah, Lily. She stops and turns around, swiveling her head slightly to try and work out exactly where the voice came from. Hey, it's me. Hey, me. I'm Lily. I'm kidding. I know it's you, Hisao. I quickly catch up to her, coming in beside her and matching her slow pace as we resume walking. Good afternoon, Hisao. Hi there. I glance up at the sky. A distinct tinge of orange discolors the clouds, washing the footpath in its light. Long shadows from the trees fall across the wide road down the hill. So Hisao, what brings you here? Just going to town and grab some groceries. Hanako sent me. Hanako sent you? Yeah, she said she needed some stuff for a test. She needed to study for a test tomorrow. I was going to come down anyway, so I'll just buy her stuff as well. Unspoken is that Lily really could use some help to get food. But it's an obvious fact that neither of us needs to stay. It's good to hear she's studying for it. I thought the same thing when she asked me to come with you. We continue walking down the street as the familiar sound of her cane echoing through the air as we go. Except for the occasional passing car, the leaves whispering in the branches, there's a blissful silence. Thank God I can finally relax for the first time today. I glance over at Lily. That porcelain face of hers seems to lack that air of relaxed confidence. I guess the same could be said of her personality too. As she silently walks her face remaining pointed to the street ahead of her. I look ahead and savor the cool air blowing over my face. This is probably the calmest moment I've had since the about-face my life took recently. To have it while walking to get some groceries, what a weird life. I feel the crumpled up note against my hand in my pocket and pull it out to check its contents. Eggs, bread, cereal, thyme, lettuce, shaved ham. That sounds like quite a bit to carry back with you on your own. Yeah, just how much does she eat anyways? My mind suddenly clicks that yes, there actually is a person beside me. She laughs wholeheartedly. My, Hisao. Her giggles punctuate her words, though she's making little effort to express them. Quite direct today, aren't we? Yeah, you got me. You got me there. Still, it is quite a bit. Usually I go shopping with Hanako, so I know what she buys. It's the same thing every week. Huh? Is she a good cook? She gives a nervous giggle. It's usually me who ends up cooking. I used to do so for Akira, so it's no problem doing it for Hanako as well. You can cook, but you've never made me a meal. A short hum with an amused lilt emanates from her beside me. I wonder if the fact that she seems amused by my comments so often is actually genuine, or rather just from a want to make me feel more comfortable in addressing her blindness. There are ways around it. Some meals are more difficult to cook than others because of being unable to see what I'm doing, but it usually only takes a little more time. Fingers can double as very useful measuring tools, for example. It makes sense, but she'd have to be pretty careful not to hurt herself. I wonder how many times that's happened. Given that it sounds like she's cooked alone for possibly years while Akira worked and her parents were gone. With that, this conversation trails off. Compared to the awkward silences of Hanako, Lily seems genuinely content to say what she thinks and stay quiet when there's nothing to say. The slick road under my feet is bathed in an orange glow, the occasional fallen leaf crunching underfoot as we walk. I let out a deep yawn and my lack of sleep coming back to haunt me. Did you get much sleep last night? I couldn't sleep at all for the last 2 nights, probably insomnia. Lily's face suddenly becomes worried. It feels like a personal failure every time she gets worried about my well-being, even if it's genuinely nice to know someone cares. You have insomnia? Aren't you going to go see the nurse about it? Nah, no real need. It's happened before a few times. My med's screwing with my sleep occasionally. I'm sorry. Come on, it's not your fault. At least I shouldn't have any trouble getting to sleep tonight. You do worry me sometimes. Oh man, that's hard to hear from someone you really like. If someone says that they worry about you and you care about them, it's not easy. I worry you? I reach around and scratch the back of my neck. I kind of want to address this. Hey, Lily? I don't mean to sound weird, but please try to forget about my heart condition. She looks kind of lost. I hardly blame her. I guess what I'm trying to get at is, just don't treat me differently because of it. She bows her head slightly, her white cheeks reddening almost imperceptibly. It's only natural to worry about those around you. Well, it's still nice that there's someone like that out there. It may be somewhat embarrassing to say, but that's the truth. Lily takes a break to regain her composure and manages a gentle smile, though her cheeks remain flushed. The final downhill walk to the store passes in silence. Welcome. I suppose I'll get my stuff first, and Hanako's on the second round. I grab the 2 well-worn red baskets from the stack beside the entrance and pass one to Lily. Just as she did before, she lays it on the ground and slides her retracted cane between the basket's handle before picking it back up with her right hand. When she takes hold of my arm in her own, I'm surprised at just how fast this kind of casual contact becomes so natural. Mostly due to necessity, no doubt. Yeah, necessity. I mean, shall we? Sure. While we navigate around the store, the odd person occasionally passing us pays us no heed at all. It's nice compared to the stares and whispers around the city. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lily that what she needs and grab it along with what I want, putting our items into 2 respective baskets. It's an odd feeling to be dependent on so much for something so basic as shopping. Hanako would practically be a necessity for her to pick out what she wants, after all. Right, I'm pretty much done with both my stuff and Hanako's. You need anything else, Lily? No, this should be everything. Off we go then. Oddly, there's a queue a mile long. Considering the store's only large enough to warrant 1 counter, seems like it'll take a while. Damn. Lily gives an inquisitive look, unable to see the reason for my complaint. The queue's really long. Looks like we'll have to wait. How strange. Sharing the same mood of resignation, we reluctantly take our places at the end of the line. The first one person finishes, the line moves up. Another finishes, the line moves up. By the time we finally reach the end of the line, I'm so close to dozing off that Lily has to gently pat me on the back for me to move up. Hisao. Hisao? Oh, sorry. She gives me a short sigh of consternation as I move up, getting the groceries for Hanako and I put into separate bags. Thank you. Please come again. By the time we emerge from the store, Lily's holding a single bag while I struggle to carry 4. Both hands truly full. It's a lot of work, but thankfully the items in them are light. Even without looking skyward, it's obvious that a surprising amount of time's passed. The road outside being dark and lit by street lamps. Once Lily retrieves her cane, we set out back to the dormitories the way we came, leaving the welcoming warm glow of the store. Ugh. Despite the road being empty of cars, the full bags abundantly make up for the lack of the noise, constantly clunking and squeaking together. My Hisao, it's good to find that you're eating well. I'm a grown guy after all. I need to eat all I can. It must be nice being a man. What? Seemingly not noticing or ignoring my surprise at the completely out of left field comment, she continues on without missing a beat. Weight doesn't really bother you when eating most of the time. I get what you mean. Women tend to worry about stuff like that more than we do, I guess. Exactly. It makes me somewhat envious, to be honest. Well, it's not like we can outright ignore it. With an affirmative nod, we continue on our walk. That's right. What is it? Hanako mentioned your birthday was earlier this year. Do anything special for it? She gives a long pause in thought for a few seconds as she recalls the event. Not really. It was just Hanako and I having a little party during the night after school. Your birthday's supposed to be a big event, you know. Sounds like a pretty lonely way to spend a birthday. Just she and Hanako staying overnight. Birthdays always felt like a family occasion for me. They were a time in spite of their full-time jobs. Both my parents would make an effort to be there for the day, or at least the party beforehand. It reminds me of how Lily mentioned she hadn't seen her family in such a long time, and even ended up moving away from Akira's house afterwards. But I guess it's the same in situations as mundane as these. Considering her inability to read packaging, just getting groceries would be a pain without someone else around. In the end, she just has Hanako and I, and Akira when she's off from work. Be that as it may, she still seems to have many more distant friends among the students, not to mention people like Yuko. It seems to be her own choice that there's such a separation between those who are close to her and those who she only socializes with. It humbles me a little to watch how much Lily seems to have her life set up and going just as she wants. Man, me and Lily sound more and more alike. There's a weird, level of, I guess, recognition I kind of get with that. But whatever. It's a good way to connect with this character, making sure they're three-dimensional and stuff, even though they're only a two-dimensional girl. Yet Hanako is there for her, to celebrate her birthday. And I'm here helping her with shopping. It's a weird kind of symbiosis, I suppose. Are you alright, Hisao? Sorry? You just seem to go very quiet, that's all. Sorry, I was just thinking. Oh? Now I gotta tell her the truth. Now I've piqued her curiosity. It feels like some sort of overly personal overly personal to talk about. Let me just check really quickly my gallery. I'm gonna check the gallery really quickly of like Hanako's route. Oh, here we go. Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It was just, I was thinking about how you seem to have everything so sorted out, even with Hanako relying on you. I can admit that even I relied on you when I first transferred in. I think that's a good quality to have. I turned to Lily, surveying her reaction. She's forcing herself to look forward, furrowing her brow quite a bit. Her face looks a bit awkward, as if she's trying to figure out just the right words. Lily? I would thank you, but assuming that I don't rely on the presence of others is too much. You'd be wrong to think that Hanako simply depends on me with nothing in return. She seems to have quite a bit of trouble saying it. That's largely what I'd thought already. If she'd tried so hard to maintain her independence, as anyone would have had to in her position, cited or not, maybe she finds it hard to talk about with her own needs. It's only now that I realize an omission in what she says, though I decide to follow it up largely in jest to avoid things getting too personal. Oh, and what about me? She suddenly runs ahead of me, turns, blocking me off. With a smile, she holds her hands behind her as she leans forward. You're different. And with that, she turns back and continues to walk ahead of me, a newfound spring in her step. All I can do is raise an eyebrow and give a dazed grin. I don't think I've ever seen this playful and teasing side of her before. So I'm different? It's hard to work out the exact context because I'm Japanese, but knowing her, this ambiguity was intended. Our relationship has been changing, at the very least simply because I've begun to stand on my own feet more and started getting more curious about the situation of those around me. As to why? Probably a mix of personal curiosity and a want to try and work out how to deal with my situation. I'm less sure of Lily, though. That's why her own statement, so similar to my own feelings toward her, throws me off so much. Watching her make her way up the street, cane tapping from left to right, I decide to settle the matter later and just smile. This is a nice side to her, and I don't want to forget it. Eventually we get to the girls' dormitories, both my arms aching from the weight of the 2 sets of groceries. We're finally here. Phew! I bend down to wipe my forehead with the back of my hand. Lily stops in front of her door and sets down her bag, fishing around in her pocket for the key. Thank you, Hisao. I really appreciate your help. This is nothing. It might be nothing to you, but it's definitely something for me. And with that, she steps through the door, closing it behind her. I blink. Those were nothing but honest thanks. But I can't help but feeling different about them. Anyway, I have something else to do before I can mull on that at my leisure. I turn back to the door to Hanako's room and proceed to knock twice in quick succession, the bags still in my hand rustling together. After a couple of seconds, the door slowly opens. If one weren't looking closely enough, they could have been forgiven for thinking it hadn't moved at all. I twist my head to the side and peer through the tiny sliver of a gap between the door and the door frame. Hey, Hanako, I've got your stuff. Ah. With that, she opens the door completely, making her plain room visible over her shoulder. Sparsely decorated, it's probably even more unremarkable than my room. I hold out my right arm, both bags almost pulling it straight back down with their weight. Thank you, Hisao. I'm sorry to make you carry them all this way. It's fine. Don't worry. Just don't make me do it every day, okay? I pass the bags to her as I give her a light-hearted chuckle. After the initial transfer of weight, she manages to take them easily. I'll be off then. Night, Hanako. Good night. See you in class tomorrow. With a deep bow, her groceries still held in both hands, she steps back and shuts the door. What a polite, nice girl. Making my way back to my own dorm, I put one bag into my other hand to balance them out. Even as I do, I can't get Lily's light-hearted smile out of my mind. When I'd first met her, it would have been nearly impossible to manage her like that. Indeed, it feels like we've become closer in the past few weeks since I first got to know both she and Hanako. The time that I spend with her each day, those small exchanges of happiness we share, those small moments of joy as I get closer to her, I'm far from certain, but I don't think those are just normal feelings of friendship. No shit, Sherlock. Once I return to my room, I store away my groceries and begin getting ready for the night. I swap the school books in my bag for those I'll need tomorrow, pulling out the yellow envelope Misha gave me earlier in the process. Ugh. I got so sidetracked by one thing after another that I couldn't deal with it earlier. Who could have been written to, I wonder? The name neatly adorning the back of the envelope freezes me in my tracks. It's been so long since I've seen her writing. There's little chance I could have identified it as hers. Iwanako. Why should she have written me? I can't think of any good reason for her to do this. I almost don't open the letter, but there'd be a little point to that. If I just left it alone, its mere existence would gnaw at me until I did something about it. X's, am I right? I look down at the piece of paper on my desk, its bright and summery decoration beaming at me. The lettering is in pink, jarring badly with the yellow sunflower border or the card. The handwriting is neat, the characters having been written thoughtfully and with an unusual amount of care. I'd barely given the letter a second thought when it was given to me, but now I can't get its contents out of my mind. While I'd like to say that I don't know why she used such an old-fashioned method of communication, considering a phone call or an email would be much faster, easier, the answer feels obvious enough given the content. A letter leaves a comfortable distance between the sender and the recipient. Unlike a phone, it isn't required that you engage in conversation. And unlike an email, there is less expectation of an immediate reply. Statements such as the third year seem to be very anxious about final exams, and it's so weird to think we're already seniors, isn't it? Are just small talk. Small talk that could have been achieved simply by replying to any messages I'd sent her while in the hospital. The ending, though, is the true reason she sent this. The last couple of lines, added almost as an afterthought. I wonder if we'll meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't. It's a statement that should hurt. I've always heard breakups are nasty stuff, but it feels like this is simply reaffirmation of what we both already knew instead. This isn't a breakup, this is just like the weirdest, like, haha, I told you so, get wrecked, later scrub. It's the preceding text no more than small talk that makes me feel most uneasy. I can't figure out why, no matter how long I sit here and look down at this bright summery piece of paper. If you would like to correspond with me, by all means write back. It's plainly obvious that this is not the type of letter to be replied to. In the end, this letter is no more than a simple abdication of responsibility, a final statement to reassure herself that our relationship is over. As such, I have little problem scrunching the letter and envelope into a ball and tossing them into the waste bin, ridding myself of its existence. I go to bed with mixed feelings, cheated out of a pleasant evening by this intruder from the past. Ironically, it takes a while before I can manage to sleep. Yo, if she's still sending you letters, what's her problem? Get out of here, girl. I'm already over you. I found so many better girls. Emmy, Shizune, kind of Misha, Hanako, Lily. That's all of them. Yes, I said that's all of them. I sweat profusely, awaiting the dreaded moment. Each tick of the clock tensens my muscles that much more, every minute making more hairs stand on end. It's coming for me. I can feel it. Death. Death in the form of a single sheet of paper. Oh. Woo. I take the small pile of papers from the student in front of me and pass it backwards, after plucking the top one. Looking to the right, top right of the page, I find my fears realized within a small red circle. 43! I hang my head and sigh in resignation, cursing under my breath. I can feel the aura of a similar sentiment rising from the entire class. It's strange, but that fact lifts my mood by a minuscule amount. Misery loves company, I suppose. As the teacher opens his mouth, the room braces for the inevitable onslaught, only to be saved at the last minute. We quickly move to collect our bags and leave for a lunch post-haste, but the teacher delivers a parting broadside. We'll be discussing the class's test scores next lesson. Needless to say, there will be quite some discussion to be had. A collective groan resounds from the class, now reduced to shuffling out dejectedly. I push the sheet of paper into my bag. As I walk along the hallway, crumpling it in the process, it's enough that such a troublesome letter ended up on my desk yesterday, and now this? I hate English. Hisao! A stern female voice gruffly calls out from behind me. I freeze on the spot, my face becoming like stone. It's as if I can feel my brain disconnecting from my body. My eyes slowly shifting right, trying to catch a glimpse of the disembodied voice. Nothing? My face begins to slip as time passes ever so slowly. I twist it to the... Yeah! I jump into the air and drop my bag, yelling out in surprise. As I recover and regain my composure, I turn to see I should have known. Emmy. Gotcha, Hisao. But she stands there with a mischievous grin on her face, hands forward, fingers pointed inwards. She was the one who jabbed my ribs with her fingers. I look down at her with a grimace, rubbing my hair in frustration. That's no way to greet someone, you know. You have, no sense of humor. I left my sense of humor in my English class. Complain to the teacher if you want it given back to me. She pulls her best puppy dog eyes on me as she pouts. Lily's managed to build up my resistance to the tactic, but Emmy's short stature adds enough to the effect to make me relent. So, how are things? I haven't seen you for a little while. Same old, same old. I run so fast, nobody wants to join me on my morning runs. It's a real pain. Her modesty never fails to amuse me. Although, uh-oh. You know what I'm thinking, don't you, Hisao? Wearing my emotions on my sleeve is one of my worst habits. She's seen right through me. Fortunately, I see someone else approaching us that will give me an out. Oh, hi, Hanako. And give her a welcoming wave and try my best looking at her. Looking like I haven't noticed Emmy's pouting face. She gives me a small wave back. Hello, Hisao? Emmy? Hey, Hanako! I'll join you and Lily in a sec. Actually, speaking of lunchtime company, it's odd to see you without Rin, Emmy. Ah, Rin! Without a second word, she forgets all about us and bolts off up the hallway. She must have forgotten who she was waiting for. Hanako and I stand speechless, only able to helplessly stand and watch this ball of seemingly boundless energy dash off. Oh yeah, Hisao? She suddenly stops herself just before vanishing around the corner to the hallway, or to the rooftop staircase, spinning around to meet our bemused faces. I hate English too. And with that, she disappears. All I can do is hang my head and give a long sigh, thoroughly left in the dust. As I hear a short giggle coming from behind me, I turn to see Hanako smiling at the corner, my attacker rounded. I pick up my drop bag from the floor and quickly dust it off. Afternoon? Been busy? You don't like English? Oh, nah. I had a test on it a while back, and Emmy caught me brooding about the results. Sorry. She averts her gaze, guilt written onto her face. A casual observer would think she'd just accidentally reminded me of a dead relative. Come on, it's not your fault. Come on, it's not your fault. How are you doing in it? She looks up, though, still avoids meeting my eyes. Alright, I suppose. An awkward silence pass. Silence, boys. They seem all too common around Hanako. Oh, Lily asked if you'd like to join us for lunch on the roof. I guess I don't exactly have any pressing engagements to attend to. Sure, I'll be right up. I'll go get my lunch from the cafeteria now then. Go on, you don't need my approval to leave, you know. Okay, I'll be going then. She gives me a skittish reply, a small nod, and quickly makes off towards the cafeteria. I guess she must have forgotten to bring lunch today. As I walk through the hallways, and more students start to come out of the classrooms and pass me, going in the same direction as Hanako went. By the time I manage to make the stairs, I'm having to push my way past a busily chatting throng of students. That's a good word, throng. I finally managed to get past the last of the crowd and round the staircase, slumping slightly in relief, and slowing my pace before I open the door to the roof. Ah, damn! I momentarily avert my eyes, all but blinded by the harsh summer sun. It's 4 girls! There's gonna be 4 girls up here, I don't know if we can handle it. As I slowly regain my vision, the surroundings finally take form. Lily, Emmy, and Rin sit together on the rooftop. The top of the hilltop forest around Yamaku visible past the fence around them, as if to frame them into view. Ah, Hisao. Lily and Rin give a quick nod of acknowledgement and deep nod of greeting respectively. I start walking towards the rather mismatched trio. I can't help marveling at the speed with which Emmy devours the rest of her half-eaten banana. Hey, strange to see you three together like this. It seems to have been quite the day of coincidences. Emmy and Rin decided to eat on the roof, just as Hanako and I decided to. You stole it. This spot was ours. I'll have my dad sue your dad. Simmer down. You can't steal a place in the school. I plunked myself down beside Lily, the four of us creating a semicircle. I think she's right. I think she is right. You too? The butterfly is her accomplice. The butter. As I glance around, sure enough, there's a small yellow butterfly floats across my vision. So tell me, how did this butterfly help Lily steal the spot? It scouted out our conversation and told her. I should have known better than to expect sound reasoning from Rin. Regardless, I guess it wouldn't hurt to play along. You're telling me she can talk to butterflies? There are people who can talk to horses. They're called horse whisperers. Lily must be a butterfly whisperer. I bury my head in my hands as Emmy rounds on her strange companion. She doesn't seem to share Rin's sense of humor. Whisperers don't work like that? Emmy and Rin continue their banter as I turn to Lily, who's busily finishing off her small box of curry and rice with a pair of wooden chopsticks. So, what brings you up here anyways? A little fresh air now and again doesn't hurt. Ah! Emmy breaks off her vain attempt to introduce the concept of logic to Rin. That was why we came up here too. Something tells me it was her idea alone, and that Rin only got dragged up here on Emmy's whim. Then again, the same could be said of Lily and Hanako. Now, we can share. Yeah, girls, don't fight so much over me. I'm goofing. I'm goofing again, boys. The creaking of the door to the roof can be heard as soon as she says the words. A moment of silence falls over us as everyone's attention focuses on the figure appearing from it. Oh, 4 girls on one screen. Take a screenshot if you like anime girls. Hanako slowly walks over to us, her eyes pinned to the ground, silently ruining the attention she's attracting. She tenses just barely when her eyes meet Ren's. I can't help raising an eyebrow as she walks over to us and sits next to me, doing her utmost to avoid looking up, even as she brings her cafeteria bread to her mouth. So, how do you and Emmy know each other anyways? Emmy's somewhat well known around the school for her athletic ability. She's the fastest member of the track and field club by some margin, even beating Miki Mura at the track meet last week. Miki Mura? Ah, that tanned girl from the front of my class. Considering her height and toned body, being able to beat her is quite an accomplishment. Looking over to Emmy, it's very clear she's well aware of this fact as she beams proudly. So, Hisao, what's your score in English? Ouch. No comment. Boo. She puffs her cheeks and pouts, but it doesn't take long for her to bounce back. Alright, if I tell you mine, you have to tell me yours. Deal? Fine. Okay, on the count of 3, we both say our results. 1, 2, 3. 32. I beam a mischievous grin. Ah! Evil. Like, evil. You said it, not me. Still, the fact that you managed at an even lower score than me is kind of amazing. Grrr. She looks and sounds like a small terrier growling at an intruder. I can't say it's the most threatening sight I've ever seen. Either way, scoring higher than 32 isn't something to boast about, much less scoring below it for any subject. Yes, Lily. Sorry, Lily. Oh my god. Like, don't scold me. I could help you with your English if you'd like. It would be my pleasure too. No, that's fine. But I appreciate the thought, really. Lily looks slightly deflated, her hopes of imparting her knowledge dashed, judging from the badly hidden laughter from the rest of us. Neither she nor Emmy seem to have garnered too much pity. Oh, as I sit happily laughing, though, I feel my voice suddenly cut off at my chest as my chest clenches. I sit in silence for a few seconds, all my concentration forced on my heartbeat. Is this how I go? Is this how I die? It's only small pain, but the ache feels like it's growing. Breathe deeply. Breathe deeply. I glance upward to try and keep at least some of my attention on my surroundings to see Emmy suddenly freezing when she notices the expression of pain on my face out of the corner of her eye. Hey, Hisao, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I look back down and redouble my efforts to try and stay calm, clenching my fists to try and dull the pain. It takes a short time, but the pain thankfully begins to fade. When I look back up, there's only silence and pensive faces to be seen. Guess I'd better explain myself. Arrhythmia? I'm fine, it's just a heart flutter. Are you sure? Should we get the nurse? Taking her cue, Hanako quickly picks herself up and begins to dash toward the door. Hanako, stop. Lily, I'm fine. Really. You look like a wet, wrinkled tomato. Huh? As I bring my hand to my forehead, I can feel the beads of sweat gathered on it and dab them with my cuff. Thanks, I told you I'm fine. I'm just kind of fragile, I guess. The entire atmosphere has changed from one of gaiety to downcast faces, the situation being too awkward for anyone to know exactly how to react. Of course, the whole thing is thanks to me, huh? It just had to happen now and around others. Oh, Emmy? She looks up at a juice box halfway in her mouth. I haven't told you my score yet, have I? Yeah, well, you're half foreign, so your score doesn't, even count. Lifting an eyebrow, I inquisitively turned to Lily. What was your test result, anyway? She gives a cheeky grin. 100%. Perfect score. No way, all I can do is hang my mouth in wonder. Considering those tests are insane, even for some native speakers, I can only imagine she's gone and done something like committing to mind part of the dictionary, a gift for rote memorization, maybe. That's... See, only someone part foreign could even get that good a score. See... Lily and I grin at Emmy's expense, her reaction identical to mine when I first tripped on that landmine. Lily's foreign ancestry does raise a point, though. That's right, you leave for Scotland tomorrow, don't you? That's correct. Emmy heard some rumors about it. It seems word's been spreading quickly. Considering I only told a friend in my class a couple days ago. It must be nice. It must be so nice to go halfway around the world on holiday. Hey, could you buy me something while you're there? Don't be too shy now. Lily gives a light-hearted giggle. Evidently, fully expecting Emmy's bluntness. The rest of my lunch continues much as the same before, the jauntiness from before my heart flutter thankfully returning in full. As everyone flies off with appropriate farewells, only Lily and I are left. Hello, Lily. Oh, hey, Lily. She packs the last of her things into her bag and clips it shut before perking her head up slightly. Thanks for breaking the silence back there. Kind of wanted to stop it, but I didn't really know how to. As much as I'd like to sound less morose about it, the letter from yesterday screwing up a test so badly in class and now my heart making things very hard indeed. She gives an indulgent smile and nods. Hope she hasn't picked up on it, but knowing her, it's unlikely that she hasn't. Emmy's strong, but only human. We do worry about you, Hisao. Hold on. Why would I worry you? Her smiling face collapses, becoming uncomfortably serious. Hisao, we are not ignorant of your situation. Unlike... She cuts herself short. Unsure of whether she should say what she intends to, I give her a weak smile and rest my hand on her shoulder. Don't. It's enough that I worry about it. I don't want you all to shoulder my burden. But if you all worry about it, I have to worry about your worrying, if that makes sense. I'm fine, okay? For a moment, she looks to be lost in thought, carefully pondering how to react. Hisao, do you have any paper left from your food's packaging? I think so. I'll just check. I rummage around in my bag for leftovers from lunch, eventually finding paper square from my lunch, from my sandwich package or whatever. Who cares? My eyebrow raised and my expression rather quizzical. I gently place the square into Lily's hand. Without another word, she brings her fingers around it to feel out its edges. This should be large enough. With the both of us seated, the minutes to the lesson ticking away, she proceeds to lay the item on the ground and begins to work in earnest. Wrapped in silence, I watch her fingers move about the small square with amazing dexterity. A small fold here, a large fold there. Her fingertips keeping a slow but sure pace. Looking up, her expression is calm and placid. The fact that her face is pointed well above the sheet in front of her makes the sight of her work all the more curious. Her shoulders slump a bit after finishing one final fold. Her work apparently done. It's only when she holds the item up in her hands I realize what it is. Oh, I think I could do that. It wouldn't come out as good as that, but I think I could make an origami crane with my eyes closed. It would probably not be that good, but I've done a lot of cranes in my time. A small origami crane. Light brown thanks to the packaging used. The result looks quite delicate and precise. You can do origami? I taught myself how to do it when I was younger. It improved my dexterity a bit. Huh? Quite a little baffled, I carefully take the small bird from her pale cupped hands as if it would break from the smallest breath. It seemed to be folded quite well and holds its shape easily. We both grab our bags and head out the doorway, Lily extending her crane as she does so. That was sweet. I hold Lily's handiwork up to my face for further inspection while we walk down the hallway, her hand running along the silver handrails for... If she taught herself origami to improve her dexterity with the use of her hands, so much given her condition? Ah, so that's it. I smile and I realize the bird's meaning. Everyone here has to find their own way of dealing with their conditions. You aren't alone here when you have problems. Thanks, Lily. I appreciate this. She gives a sweet smile and a nod, not using words where none need be used in her typical manner. All I ask is that you take care of yourself, Hisao. Don't worry, I will. Promise? Promise. And with that, we part ways. To be honest, I don't know what annoys me more. The fact that I could die at any moment, or the fact that everyone knows that. I guess I'll just take each day as it comes as the unexpected present in my hand reminds me I'm not alone here. Even though I may be like this, I'm not alone. Even if they worry, if anyone worries, I'll smile. I'll smile enough for all their worries to go away. Well, guys, I think that's it. Alright, let's save the game. Create new save. Guys, stay safe. Have fun. And realize, when you have problems, you're not alone. Trust me. You've got at least one person who cares about you. Wink, wink. Bye. Oh wait, one of those things is more important than the others. Bye.